what's Missin Curfew? It's when you kind of play guilty, but you show up.
How nice is a green light on the road, though? No practice tomorrow, no plane, just go.
Scotty Upshall in the clear, and he scores! Right in front, scores!
A few laughs, a little bit of fun, and obviously a lot of hockey talk.
You're listening to Missin Curfew.
What's up, lads?
Up, dog, my man. How we doing? Look at you. You're such a pro back in the studio. This could be the first time ever you've been in the studio and I haven't been. Hey, a little role reversal here. Oh, Woman's World. Party time. Excellent.
It's about time you got your own song, Obes. I mean, shit. I do say it feels a little lonely in here. I mean, our HallPass team is, I think they're on their way up to Vegas for Summer League. So this place is a little bit quiet. It's a little different. I don't have Morgan or Kyle here either. But for a fellow Friday, it feels good to be back home. It was a long couple weeks chasing around that fucking Stanley Cup. It was a long couple weeks. So it's nice to be back, but it's nice to have you boys. Princey, welcome to the show again. It's nice to have you boys on here and to give our listeners a little fellow Friday action, boys.
Yeah, Princey, I thought you did a hell of a job there on your first time sitting in for the playoffs, did the reads. Boys might have to get you some more reps here, eh, fella? Get you in a few more flow drills.
It is nice to be back, boys. I love being on the show with you guys. I think you guys probably brought me in here today because we got to go over some trades. We got to get some names right. We got to get some players right. Big trade from the Calgary Flames. I know you guys want my input on that one too. So I love sitting in with you guys. Hopefully the fans like me too. So it's just good to be here, boys. Good to be here.
Yeah, up dog. First things first. You had to get back. Obviously, you're a family man. I got a text from Chucky. He finally found his. He's like, boys, I haven't had my phone in. Well, since they won the cup, right? So he texted me, whatever. You sent him the picture of me and him in the club with the cutout board of Chucky, and then he texted me, Obes, 11 tonight. So I put on the group text I'm like, up dog, Cup's going 11, get back on the plane. Get back out here. So I thought about it all day, boys, and I was like, you know what? If Uppy was here, 100% I would go, or Princey or whatever. Like if there's someone that missed the curve, if you guys were here, I would go. So then I was like, hey, Chucky, listen, I'm not going to go till 11, man. I appreciate it. I'm not going to go Larry Flowers style here and fucking come in with the champagne bottles. And I didn't do a fucking thing, but I will come see at Catch. And unfortunately, the cup wasn't at Catch because fucking Luongo was drinking pasta out of it up in Boca Raton or wherever he's at. But I got to see Monty and Chucky and Ups. They were gassed. They were gassed Ups. They were still in awe. You know what I mean, bro? But the one thing I wanted to say to you, I want to say to you, Uppy, and you said this before to me before game, I think 4 or 5 or maybe all of them. They said when the cup is in the building for the first time, Ups, and all your family's coming in and all that, they're like, Obes, that is the realest thing in the world. Like they both couldn't describe it to me. They're just like it's a feeling you've never had before, like way different than your first NHL game, your first playoff game, whatever. Up, so you were bang on about that, fella.
Yeah, well, I think it just goes back to saying, when management or teams bring in guys that have been there and have won, they're there for numerous reasons, right? They're there for like leadership and to be good with like the younger players and to provide like whatever the case may be when you win. It's also on the other hand of teaching everyone within the group like, hey, this is fucking going to get mad. It's going to get real and it's going to get real quick. So we got to figure out like how to just put the noise away. How to tell like your family, your friends, whoever the case may be, the 2 broads you got up in the stands. Hey, like, calm down here. We don't need this. We don't need this. We haven't won yet, and we still got 97 and Draisaitl to worry about, right? So, yeah, you could just feel that, Obes. And as a player that's never played in a game where there's a Stanley Cup in a building, I would just imagine that it's just as exciting as it may be, it's just hectic. Like I remember going to bed the night before Game 7. We're in Florida, and yeah, I went out for beers, and Christine and I got back to the room, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I bet you half of the 40 players that are playing in that game tomorrow right now, I bet you they're staring at the ceiling, can't sleep, wondering like, did I get my family passes? Like, is everyone dialed in? Is my mom going to make it in from Montreal? You know what I mean? So you're right about that. I'm glad they kind of acknowledge that because once you win, you probably black out for, 48 hours after. You probably don't know what the hell's going on. Definitely for the first like hour to 2 hours when the buzzer goes, the Stanley Cup gets brought on the ice, you take your photo, you start fucking having beers, taking pictures with it. I guarantee those guys, they can't remember that. I bet you that's like part of the night that they just go. That was we were blacked out. Like we had so much adrenaline going that, we just fucking
we went full up.
Shit. We went full up, dog, and we had to because we're champs.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you get to hang out with those boys. I mean, listen, you were pulling for. I got a funny story. I was sitting, I was sitting having lunch, and I'll get into it in a second. But I was sitting having lunch. I got a call from Vladdy Tarasenko, and he was like, he hadn't slept. Right, he's on a patio at one of the boys' houses, and he goes, "Up, dog." And I'm like, "Vladdy, what's up, buddy? Congrats." He goes, "I just wanted to call and thank all the people that texted me before Game 7. I appreciate the good luck message." And he's like, "But you fucking cheer for the Oilers." And I go, "Hey, whoa here." I go, "You know where my loyalty is." Like, I was cheering for all the guys I had played for before. I was happy that it was Florida Edmonton. I was torn because I'm an Alberta boy, and I grew up as an Oiler fan. But Vladdy, I'm proud of you. I was in a tough spot. I'm proud of you. And he goes, no, fuck you, the Missin Curfew. And I go, listen, Obi was on your side the whole time. This guy was posting. This guy's wearing T-shirts. He had a Tkachuk T-shirt on. He's at the games. He's cheering for you. He has money on you. I go, you got to leave Obi out of this. You got to leave Obes out of this. He went through bank account of cash. He, he was playing for free, Vladdy, all right? So you got to give him some credit. And then he laughed and he said, he goes, "Number 2 up, dog." I'm like, "I know, buddy. That's impressive. I'm proud of you." So anyway, that was a good little moment.
By the way, we're going to do Oilers tea time today and go through some guys that proved me wrong. You can throw Vladdy in there that proved me wrong too. Like, when they picked him up, I was like, is he going to be the guy to get this team over the finish line? And like, he came in, played well in the regular season. I think he had 6 goals. At the start of the playoffs, he was okay then. He was kind of in one and then accepted that role playing with Listerine and Lundell, right? And he played great, scored some big goals. And the one thing Monty said, he's like, "Fuck, I thought you boys would have been on the ice after the game. We were looking for you. Like, why weren't you on the ice?" I'm like, "Well, I think we had media passes, but fucking in typical Missin Curfew fashion, we forgot. We were more excited about just getting fucking binge watch the game." And then then we tried everything to get down there. We were trying to grease people. We were throwing out up for 5 years. And then we were trying everything then. But no, I was to see those guys and, to see, I guess, just how gassed they were, like how happy they are, but how gassed they are too, man. Like it's 2 months of just, and they both said, I go, "Boys, when you were like, I don't even know what I would have texted you boys if you wouldn't have won this series." And they said, "Obes, we just kept saying, we can't come here twice and lose this, boys. Like, it can't be, we're going to find a way. Like, we're going to find a way." And this is what I want to tell you, boys. They said, they're like, we were so not lucky, but thank God we won Game 3 in Edmonton because A, of how hard of a barn it was to play in, and B, before the game at the hotel, people were driving by the hotel, honking their horns, fucking around with them. Like he said, we couldn't even sleep at that hotel. Like, these Oilers fans were just fucking with us the whole time. So that didn't surprise me, but they were saying like how the atmosphere there was and just everything was like, it was next level. They're like, we were lucky to win one out of there, and thank fuck we did, because those Oilers fans are maniacs, is what they were saying.
Yeah, and we acknowledged it last show where we said, we were playing hurt, but we did definitely acknowledge the fact that these Oiler fans and that Oiler team basically, they made us proud. You acknowledge just how hard it is to go in and play in a road game like that with fans that are going absolutely buck diddy and that have passion and that have pride and that haven't been there in a minute and that all wear jerseys to the games. And that was, I think, something that Ryan Smith, the owner, when we were at Gausser, and he was talking about, like, do basketball teams show up and wear jerseys? Like, do the fans wear jerseys? No. I'll tell you who wears jerseys. Look at the Edmonton Oilers fucking fans show up to these games and wear their jerseys like that. That is culture. That is hockey. Those are real fans, and that's something that we could all be proud of, because those maniacs that spent dimes bringing their kids there, bringing their families there, spending money on beers, on jerseys. I mean, that just goes such a long way for our sport, for our culture, for our game, for the kids, and that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last thing I said to Chucky, Monty's got kids. I said, "Chucky, keep this bender going. When you think you're done, go 2 more days, fella. Get an IV. just keep her going, fella." So it was great to see those boys. Up, dog. 7.7 million people watched Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. I believe that is a record, Princey, from what year? I thought I looked. Do you know which year it was?
It's like 2019, the Blues and the Bruins Game 7.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with Connor McDavid being in the game, Matthew Tkachuk being an American-born player, Pat McAfee talking about hockey nonstop on ESPN. Shout out to Steve Levy and those boys, but mainly the players, the refs. We talked about them last show up, dog. But dude, you said it, man. You said it before Game 7. Hockey's cool right now, Obes. And by those numbers up, dog, you're absolutely right, my man.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it has to do with the game and how fast it is and how exciting it is and how just, a comeback like that. I mean, you watched it all year. 2-goal comebacks were like as common as the common cold this year, right? But now, teams coming back from down 2, teams that, in a final when you can absolutely just get waxed and you're down 3-0, a team finds a way to just absolutely put their foot on the pedal and bring it back to a series that became one of the best series of NHL Stanley Cup final history. So that's something to be said about our game, about who's leading the charge, about our star players, just about as exciting as anything you could watch live. And that was something we took in. Obes, I'm proud that we went. I'm proud that we spent some Missin Curfew money on the fella tour. Princey, you were at 3 of the games. It's pretty badass. And for everyone that were at those games, man, nothing disappointed. There was not one game that was boring. There was not one game that had you on the edge of your seat. And that's what hockey's all about. That's why we played the game. Fuck, I wish I won a Stanley Cup sometime. Fuck, it looks so much fun.
Oh, dude, I'm up, dog. I was just singing that too, man. I'm like, imagine being up. You would have won this thing. Like, it's not even a dream come true, but just win it. Like, both of us win it with different teams. Even like, I'm looking at these kids being like, fuck, you boys did. Like, I gave them a big hug. I'm like, you boys did it. You fucking made me lose a couple more hairs on top of my monkey bum there, but you fucking did it. Hey? But it was a great playoff, up, dog. One more thing in the little intro here, boys. Uppy, I thought of you. I was never good enough to play in this game, but next year there's going to be a prospect game. Obviously, with all the NIL money now, right, boys? The CHL and NCAA can finally come together here because it's not about dollars anymore. So they're going to do a first-year eligibility, CHL best players against the NCAA first eligibility for the draft players. And all I could think about was the up-dog and Toots back in the day being like, oh, yeah? You boys want to play? Let's fucking play, boys. So I can't wait to see it. It's not going to be like your day up, but could you imagine back then being able to go down and be like, let's see what these fucking college pukes have to offer here.
Yeah, let's rip those bubbles right off your face and let's go out of here. No, listen, I mean, back in the day, Obes, it might have been a little tricky back in the day. I think a lot of those guys were older, right? A lot of those guys were, in college, might have been 19, 20, 21, 22, kind of not draft eligible, per se as to being in the CHL or your age group there. You're usually 17, 18 to be draft eligible in the CHL. You extend that when you used to go to college. Now you see it's basically age on age, and I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's exciting for hockey. I think we need to do more of this because it's getting so competitive across border with, you're right, with NIL, with how many programs in the U.S. are so attractive to Canadian players, to American players, just how good American hockey's become. You and I talk about it. The team's badass. The guys, look at who's leading the charge with the Hughes family, with Maddie and Brady. Like, these guys they're no joke. They've been there. A lot of their dads were fucking great hockey players. A lot of them played in the NHL. These kids are growing up in areas like Phoenix, areas like Florida, St. Louis, and like some California kids now. So hockey's become, more of a bi kind of country sport in North America. Both teams are basically equal in my opinion. And I think, the CHL has got a chance to size up and still prove that like they're the best, they're the best league in the US in the US and Canada. And that, it'll be good I think it's good too for parents and for kids that are kind of coming up. You're 13, 14, 15. Your kind of dream is maybe to go to college, but then the CHL goes and waxes the college kids. And so you're like, whoa, should I maybe go to college now? Or, should I maybe try out the CHL? It'll be a good way to really size up what league's better, what league has, better stars in it. And I think it's a great way to promote the stars in each league.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great for TV. And like you said, maybe back in our day, there would have been an advantage to the Canadian boys up north. But now, I mean, she's an even playing field. Like you said, USA hockey program, the development program USA has. We are going to get a 4 Nations Cup coming up, which we still think should be a 6 Nation Cup. But anyways, Team USA is legit. I think this is great for Hockey Up Dog, and it's gonna be a fun game for us to watch. And then last, boys, real quick there for me. Up Dog talks about being an Edmonton Oiler, Fort Mac kid watching the Oilers. I was a Leaf fan growing up. We lost a Leaf, Sergei Berzin. Man, way too young. I think he was 52 years old, right, Princey?
52.
Yeah. And then listen up. So I watched this guy play. He had sick style. He just always looked good on the ice. He was a guy that I liked on the Leafs. I wasn't the toughest player, but had skill, sick style. I believe he wore number 94 with his jersey kind of half tucked in. So I just wanted to say condolences to him and his family. And Up Dog, it's just, another veteran guy gone way too soon, my man.
Yeah, buddy. Well said. Anytime we lose someone of the hockey community, it's tough. And thinking about his family, thinking about his friends during a time like this.
Yeah, well said. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Uppy's World. Party's over. Back to Newport.
I mean, shit, buddy. We should be really talking about you still in Miami. We should have turned the table on this and really made this Obes' World. Hey, I'm proud of you. Look at that view you have. I seen a helicopter whizzing by your head at one point there, Princey. I don't know if you saw that. It just looked epic. You're going to have to cut that clip for Obes. But listen, it's usually me on the road. I'm in the studio now. But I will say it was a hell of a time getting on the road with you. Uppy's World's always better when Obes is around it. And listen, I had a chance before I took off on my flight. Of course, I made a great decision to not fly out from Fort Lauderdale till about 5 o'clock because I wanted to take it all in. So you're right. I had texted the boys, hey, where are you guys with the cup? I want to come by for a beer. Of course, I didn't get an answer. Maddie ended up texting us that he didn't have his phones. So there we go. But I did, listen, I wanted to say this and share this because, Fort Lauderdale was home for a long time. When I first moved to Fort Lauderdale in 2011, there was no one living in Fort Lauderdale. I went to play for the Panthers. I said, there's no way I'm living out near the rink. There's no chance. Like I'm 28. I just signed a nice ticket. I'm fucking going to live down by the beach. So, I was the first one to move down there. And then shortly thereafter, we had guys like, when Hazy came in, when Hubie came in, I had Gabranson, Sean Mathias, they ended up moving down towards me the next year. But I just enjoyed like kind of living that Los Olas lifestyle. And you guys know what that's all about. And now we get to witness it in real time because Princey's putting out all these clips of the boys with the cup. So Los Olas is a nice little stretch to the beach where the elbow room sits is right on the beach. And then, shortly there up is a bunch of restaurants and bars and good ones. I was always finding a nice new spot. Well, this place that became home to me was a place called Cafe Europa. And I'd go there for lunch. Me and my boy, JD, John DeLuca, he's a stud. We would go sit down, have lunch. We'd sit on the patio. We'd watch babes come by, honk at cars. Golf carts would be cruising by. I used to ride my skateboard down there. Anyway, they were all family. So I stopped in. I took Christina there. I said, we got to go have this is where I ate pregame meal. Walk in there, just get greeted like I had never left the place, right? From, the assistant manager, Danny, to Lisa, who owns the place. So I walk in and I'm like, fuck, there's a bunch of Florida Panther fans like outside this restaurant. I go, there's a chance the cup's in there. So I walk in and everyone says, hi, what's up? Welcome back. And they're like, can we get you a seat in the back? I'm like, no, I'll sit like near the bar, right? And then sure as shit, I'm like, why are all these fans here? And they're like, well, Bobrovsky's back there. I'm like, oh, no shit. And he's with, I think he was with his wife or I don't know who it was. But anyway, I go back. I just give him like a what's up? Hey, it's Up Dog. And I just want to, congrats. And he was like all best kind. And then this kid, after his meal, he got up. He probably took photos with about 30, 40 people. Stud, class act. And then Lisa came over and was like, listen, you were the big reason why all these guys, they still come here. They still eat pregame meal here. Just wanted to say like, thank you for that. So anyway, in full circle, A, go live down by the beach, and B, just, find a new spot, make it home, treat everyone, well there. And, it can turn out to be a place that will never, will always feel like your second home. So I appreciate those people at Cafe Europa. And then, goddamn, they make a nice chicken piccata with the little vodka cream sauce. Buddy, it's tasty.
That vodka cream sauce there is fucking national.
It's tasty. So a little espresso. I had 2 Peronis. I went to the airport in a very happy mood. And anyway, didn't see the cup, but it was a nice afternoon, fella.
Yeah, no. Listen, Fort Lauderdale in this area has turned into a hockey place, man. It's been crazy, and like you said, up dog, you see it grow. So Uppy's World, party time, little vodka sauce. Princey, DraftKings, baby.
Presented by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Up dog, it's award night tonight. We're recording this on a Thursday. We went to the awards, me and you. It was because Loops was up for the Masterton, so we thought, fuck, we'll take full advantage of that. Went in, had a night. But listen, I got one future bet left, boys. This is my last bet of the year, DraftKings. I love you, but this is probably not my last bet. Who am I lying? But this is my last hockey bet. I got Nathan McKinnon at the start of the year at plus 900 on DraftKings. Up dog, I obviously think he's the guy because he got cash on him, but for me, the difference is going to be that he got 50 goals. Now, listen, it could be him or Kucherov, or you could give it to 97 too. I mean, like what he did to get his team back in the dance. But to me, it feels like Nate's year because he got the 50 goals. I mean, Kucherov and McDavid had 100 apples though, so I don't know who you give it to. If you look at teams, Kucherov, the points distance, right up dog, but I guess what I'm saying is, come on, voters, give it to the Nate dog so the Oaks can hit my last bet, baby.
Yeah, listen, I look at it too as consistency, and you got to talk about what this guy did at home this year. I mean, he had points in 35 or 36 straight home games. That's pretty impressive. Like no one does that. You can talk about 100 apples, but the fact that when the puck drops on your home ice, you go fucking almost the whole year getting a point. And being like one of the best home teams in the league, unfortunately, they fell short, and he's up against two guys that were on an absolute mission this year. But I would say it's pretty tight. For all the guys that have a vote in this, I'm sure they're going to look at who's won it before, who elevated their team to play at a high level, and then what they've done that hasn't been done before. So if you take into consideration all those things, it can kind of be anyone's game now. Hopefully they listen to our podcast and they know, like, hey, the big fella, he had a tough stretch down the road, losing a couple of big games, and now, like, let's get him back on track. He's got this, 1,000 to win whatever, $9,000. Is it 9-1?
No, I got it 500 to win 4,500.
Yeah, so that's 9-1. So that's pretty damn good. I mean, that's
plus 900.
Yeah, fucking right. So I would say, I mean, it's as good of a bet, Obes, as you've had all year. I think McKinnon, he'll see this clip and be like, fuck, there's my vote. Yeah, no, that's okay. You know your shit. I don't know, but when are we going to get a vote on all this stuff? We watch enough hockey now. We got enough say. We should be having a vote on who gets the Hart Trophy. All these pigeons that get a vote on this. How many is there? There's got to be fucking 100 of them.
I know Dave Pagnotta gets a vote. So, Dave, I hope you're voting for Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah, he's not a pigeon. And by pigeons, I just mean, like, there's a lot of them.
No, Dave is not a pigeon at all. We love that guy. DB has a vote, right?
But how many votes are there? There's probably 100 guys, right? But the Conn Smythe, there was only probably 15.
There's got to be a shit ton of guys in there. Tons of them. I'll take a look
here. Writers, all the media guys. Like
all the writers,
Like, does BX get a vote?
He should.
He 100% should get a vote. 100%.
Biz should have a vote. I don't know if he does, but Biz should have a vote.
Does Gretz get a vote? Gretz should have a vote.
It should be called the Gretzky Trophy anyway.
It should 100% be the Gretzky Trophy.
180 to 200 members of the PHWA get a vote.
I don't know. While we're talking about this, did you guys see that Jim Matheson, the writer for the Oilers? He picked McDavid, Hyman, and Bouchard as 3 picks for the Conn Smythe. That's a little leaning on the heavy. That's a little leaning on your home team, no?
Yeah. Fuck, you would have done the same though. You were all in. You would have been like, I'm giving it to all 3 of those guys too. Well, maybe not Hyman. Although Hyman, how many goals did you end up with? 15?
16, I think.
16.
Oh, crazy.
I mean, he was two off of the all-time record. Yeah,
it was crazy.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah. So, anyways, good luck. Good luck to all those boys tonight. I hope Nate Dogg gets it done. Princey, tea times, my man.
Presented by Adidas Golf, made wherever you play, fellas. Check them out online. Check their socials. Check us out. Adidas Golf, baby.
Listen, Hop Dog, I've seen some of the press conferences coming out. Like, I think the Oilers have had themselves probably better than I probably would have in this situation. I probably would have shown up drunk to the fucking press conference, started throwing chairs or something. I don't know, but McDavid, he said, what are you supposed to do? Right? It's going to take a while. I got to get over it. I got to start focusing on next year. Next year's now the biggest year. We have a mission to win it next year. And then obviously, I'll turn over to you. Their biggest thing is Draisaitl, as we all know. 1 year left on his deal. You're an insider. Kenny Holland, by the way, good dig in there, fella. But what are your thoughts on the Oilers? Tough situation for him, obviously.
Yeah. Anytime you face the media in a tough situation, it's never pretty, especially when they're going to ask some real hard questions. I thought listening to Connor yesterday, I thought he did a good job of, just talking about the pain and, the basically the mission that they were on and just how long it took and how now it's, they need a little break. And anyway, diving into just where they are and currently where they stand, I think this team, proved that they could play with anybody, especially when they got two of the best players. They got some really, really tough decisions to make, starting with, Bouchard's going to be a free agent in, a year, a restricted free agent. He's going to get paid. I mean, what he did this year, he proved he's a top 5, offensive defenseman in the league, if not top 3. Whether or not he's going to have Leon and Connor both on his line for the next, call it 8 years of his career, we'll see. And then just Leon Draisaitl, boys, this guy, he probably played hurt. I don't think it all came out yet. The last 3-4 years in the playoffs, this guy's been probably the top performer points-wise. His points per game are up there with some of the greats, Mario and Gretz, in the playoffs, which you got to acknowledge is pretty special. And then, what he provides, his strength. You look at a guy that's inducted in the Hall of Fame this year, Datsyuk. He plays, his favorite player is Datsyuk. This guy's one of the best players ever to put skates on, Leon Draisaitl. And this is going to be tricky to keep a guy like that on your team. And can you fit it under the cap? Who knows? You got some tough deals that you gotta live on with. The Darnell Nurse deal is going to be tricky. It'll affect you for the next 6-7 years. But the question is Leon gonna, go take a payday, go get what he deserves, go finally play somewhere that is, not Edmonton. Let's just be honest. It's long years to play up in Edmonton for so long, where you have great fans, yes, but at times when you're not playing well, fans that are great when you play well are not so great, to you and your teammates when things are going bad.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact because sometimes I am a fan and I'm hard on these guys. But Leon has put himself in the driver's seat. I think his comments of saying, it's not what I'm thinking about right now. The Oilers and our team will sit down at some point and discuss what's best for each. But this guy's going to make bank.
Right.
You're going to have everyone and their mother talking about Leon Draisaitl come, the next month leading up until signing. If they can't sign him, is it worth trying to move him? But he has a no move. So where is that spot? How tricky will that get? And then does him and Connor have one more run to see if they can make it work? And that's probably the magic answer right now is do they want to give this one more crack at the can? And then if it's not working come trade deadline, he's movable then. And just what's it going to cost? What's it going to cost to keep him? It's $15 million minimum, I think. Because if Connor's making 13 or 14 million bucks, Leon's going to step it up. He's going to be the highest paid player on this new contract. And that to me will make it unaffordable for the Edmonton Oilers to keep him.
Yeah, it's a really tough situation. It may have to do with why Kenny Holland is probably going to leave town, like the Updog said. Listen, fellas, for the Oilers fans up there, Leon Draisaitl has put himself in a situation that every player dreams of. You're arguably the top 2, 3, 4, 5, top 5 player in the NHL. You're in the prime of your career. You're in a position to set yourself up for the rest of your life. And not only that, put you and your family where you want to be for the next 7 years of your life. So as much as he loves the Oilers fans and loves playing in front of them, and maybe he does stay, what I'm saying to Oilers fans is you got to treat this guy as a human being now. He's giving you so many good memories. If they do get something done, you don't have to worry about this. If they don't, I mean, you can't blame Leon either way up, dog. If he stays, I get it. Oilers fans are some of the best in the league. Same time, there's a lot of attractive places to him. And for me, whoever comes in, if Kenny does leave, I wouldn't want that job ups. I wouldn't want to have to try to keep Leon Draisaitl here, and then if he leaves, then I got to try to keep Connor McDavid there. It's just like, it's a really, really, I guess, touchy time right now for Oilers fans. But ups, there are some guys on the Oilers that are also going to get paid here, fella. Look at this, you little UN. You want to talk about some good timing up, dog? Your boy Connor Brown had 2 goals all year. Way to pace yourself, Connor. Way not to fucking blow your load right through the start of the season. He's going to get something nice. He's going to get like a 3-year, like $3 million a year or something stupid. Watch. That's what I'm saying. Sam Carrick, unfortunately, didn't give as much ice time in the playoffs, up, dog, as I would have liked. And then your boy Janmark. I'm not even going to guess what he's going to get. I can't believe I just said Connor Brown's going to get $3 million and he had 2 goals. Maybe that's a little high, eh? Boys, is that a little high? I don't know, he had 2 goals.
I don't know. And I don't know. It's not what you do. It's not what you do in the regular season.
What have you done for me?
He came back off ACL surgery. So I've been there. It's tricky. It's not exactly perfect coming off ACL surgery for the first little while. You're getting used to it. You're trying to pick up your speed. You're trying to just do too much. And that probably was where he was. Then when the games mattered, when the games were on the line, we obviously seen that he was, how do you not take him for Conn Smythe voting? I mean, fuck, at one point you're calling him Connor Smythe. This kid was just great. And that's what teams look for, is when moments get really hot and heated, who steps up? Penalty kill. They had the best penalty kill in the playoffs since, I remember. So this is the situations he set himself up with. I think they keep him. They find a way to keep him. He obviously had comments of, it's great to be around so many dedicated players, in this room. And that to me means like, he's giving credit to the amount of guys on the penalty kill, the way they block shots, the guys that battled for him, that made him a better player. So I think there's a way Connor Brown figures out like, hey, this team stuck with me all year. They gave me a chance to play in the playoffs. They could have sat me and I would have never had this, chance. And he'll probably give it another crack in Edmonton. That's what I foresee, boys.
I say, Connor, go get fucking paid, bud. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, he's in a great spot, Obes. He's in a great spot.
If it was me, you want to win a Stanley Cup. That's your number one goal. But your second goal is to take care of you and your family because you can't play forever. And his stock is like fucking, what's that stock? Nvidia? How do I say it, Ups?
Nvidia.
He's like Nvidia right now. Fucking
Nvidia.
But seriously, to all those guys that are UFAs, good luck. That's what it's all about. As ex-players, I can speak for Updog. We want all you guys to get paid. Go hit a home run, boys. Oilers fans, you still got 97. You got 29 for one more year. Don't give up hope yet, but you represent yourselves unbelievably. Enjoy your summer up there. Fritzy, fella, get this guy a Labatt Blue.
Presented by Labatt Blue, the pristine Pilsner. Enjoy your beers together so you can live life to the power of we. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer. Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
I'm going to go have a fucking Labatt Blue on this beach here right after we wrap this show here, up, dog. Listen, Hall of Fame time. I'm going to set the tone here, up, dog. I got it. You love as well, but one of my favorite teammates, Shea Weber. Webbs was an absolute machine. Never got the ultimate goal at the Stanley Cup, but had won everything when it comes to Hockey Canada. You name it, he has won it for Hockey Canada. A beast out there. Took the Montreal Canadiens to a Stanley Cup final. When you think character and leadership and fucking pro, Shea Weber is on that list. So Webbs, congratulations. First ballot, up, dog. That's legit, so I'm happy for Webbs.
I'm proud of him, man. I've known this kid a long, long time. A teammate in the minors, a teammate in Nashville, a teammate at World Championships. This guy, he laid his blood and sweat on the line every time he played the game. He shot the puck. Didn't matter if it was in practice, boys, or in a game. He shot the puck hard. I mean, Pekka talks about him like almost breaking his hand every time he'd shoot at his glove. This guy deserves everything he's, and I hope he has a long career as like management or sitting up top for the brass somewhere. This guy bleeds hockey. I'm proud of him. Great family. great family guy. And Webbs, welcome to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Get yourself a Labatt Blue Light, fella.
Yeah, Updog. By the way, I think he's still getting paid, isn't he? I think he's still getting paid. And
yeah, I mean, yeah.
By the way, Uppy, that's no joke, dude. We go out in the morning for practice and we work on power play PK. I would stand in the corner when he would start ripping the fucking one-timers. And I'm like, I told Trotzy, I said, listen, I'll get in front of that maybe in a fucking game. But at 10:15 on a fucking Tuesday, I'm not getting anywhere near that thing because I'd be like, Webbs, do you honestly know where it's going, Webbs? Like, do you have an idea? He's like, I've got an idea where it's going, Otis, but I wouldn't like fuck. And Hornquist would be standing there ups and just get fucking drilled the ribs. Oh, I'm like, Horny, what are you doing, man? Get out of the fucking way.
Yeah. Well, Horny's got a Stanley Cup now, so he's happy. Oh, he's got a couple now, yeah. I'm gonna slide over to another guy in the Hall of Fame class, a guy that's not first ballot. In fact, it's taken him a long, long time to get in, but this guy is styles to the max. Jeremy Roenick, a guy 20 seasons from the Blackhawks, Coyotes, Flyers, Kings, and Sharks. This guy, over 500 goals, played the game the right way, played fucking mean, played hurt, has a ton of highlights. Just Google it. One of our boys, go get yourself a nice Labatt Blue Light, fella. Enjoy a couple of those because you're going to the Hockey Hall of Fame, and that's mint.
Yeah, it's nice to see a guy get in the Hall of Fame on and off the ice, right? JR's a Hall of Famer off the ice. Now he's a fucking Hall of Famer on the ice. His phone call from Lanny McDonald was awesome. He didn't believe at the start. He's like, yeah, good one. And then when he realized it was, he started crying. Good on JR. Yeah, he's an absolute beauty, and I will follow this up. Now that JR's in, let's get Big Walt in there. Let's get big fucking Walt Kachuk in there. Guy's a legend. Look at his rap sheet, or resume, I should say. Oh, me and Updog have rap sheets. He has resumes. You should look at Big Walt's resume. Let's get him fucking in there. But JR, congratulations, buddy. Well-deserved. And Updog, another guy that we both played against. I remember when Leon Draisaitl first started taking off in the league, you said, Obes, this guy reminds me of Pavel Datsyuk. And I'm like, fuck up, you're right. And then sure enough, they asked Leon Draisaitl who your favorite player was growing up. Pavel Datsyuk. Listen, firsthand, I played against this guy. I mean, strong and smart and good defensively and would battle. I'd cross-check him and slash him, and the Red Wings had no toughness ever. I could do whatever I wanted to him. I would have fucking abused him. And he would just look at me, not say a word, and continue on, getting 2-1 that night. And I get smoked at the Joe and grab a slice of Little Caesars pizza and get on the bus. But, man, this guy, the Magic Man Updog, well-deserved. I still think if you put him in a game right now, he could probably go out there and be your fourth-line center, play 10 minutes a night, and you'd be like, oh, good game there, Magic Man. But well-deserved. I don't know if he drinks, but if he does, get a Labatt Blue in him.
Yeah, he was a fucking killer, man. He would put defensemen like Ed Jovanovski, like he'd cold shoulder him sometimes and knock him right down to the ice. Like some of the stuff he'd do was magic out there. You're talking about Magic Man. This guy, every time he touched the puck, made something good happen. Stanley Cup champ. From the moment he was a young rookie, no one really knew who he was, his name. I think they found him in like the 8th round. I don't know. It's been they found this guy late. And what he's done is insane. And him and the Franzens, the Zetterbergs, they had such a deep group of forwards, played his whole career for one team. It's pretty special and a well-deserved candidate. So all three of those boys, welcome to the Hall of Fame. Get yourself some Labatt Blue Lights, boys, and enjoy your summer knowing that you're going to be in the fame next year.
It's even hard to find a guy as good as Datsyuk when he's played in Siberia. Eh? You're like, fuck, where's he playing? Hey, go check this Datsyuk guy out. We heard he's got soft hit. Only 6 flights to get there, and the rink holds 1,200 people. But go fucking check him out. But and then last but not least, the LA Kings for me. Get yourself a Labatt Blue. You went back to the old Gretzky 90 retro jerseys. Fucking love them. Love the black ones. They wore the white ones last year a little bit with the silver buckets, but those black ones just reminds me of Gretz. And anytime you can bring back that anything reminds you of 99 there, of the year they went to the final. I just think going back to old school look is unbelievable for me. I love them up, dog. So for the LA Kings, get yourself a Labatt Blue. I love those old school retro unis.
Absolutely.
What do we think about the Ducks ones real quick? Listen, I speaking of Ducks, we got a Duck coming up right now, Max Jones. So I love the old school symbol up, dog. I wanted them to go back to the eggplant teal, but I just heard the Samuelis hated those colors because it reminded them of Disney. So I like the color. I like how they went, back to the old emblem. And I think the white ones are sick. I got to see the orange ones on the ice. I just got to see how they look. But I like how they went back to the old symbol up, dog. It looks a little tough.
Yeah. I know, and the orange pants, orange helmet, and is that going to be with the white jersey too, boys? Are they? I'm the orange.
When I look like a pylon out there in those fucking unis, I would be a human pylon in those fucking things.
How big your fat ass would look at the big? Yeah, you would look like a traffic stop warning sign.
You look like a cone out there. If you don't want to be a slow D-man playing for the Ducks, you're going to look like a goddamn pylon out there, literally.
Like, what's the tightest pair of pants I can fit in? Because I don't want my fucking ass to be the thing that's shining in like the front row of fans. All they're looking at is my ass.
Give me a 54 jersey. It'll be a little snug, but I don't care. Fuck it.
Totally. No, it looks good. I mean, Ziegs, they had Ziegs out there modeling them off. They look pretty sexy. So it'll be a new, fresh look for a team that needs some sort of spark. I think next year, the Ducks have a lot to prove with their younger players. So, a new jersey, a new fresh look. I think it's great. And then speaking of Max Jones, kid, congrats. He got married this weekend. We've had this in the can for him for some time, so we're proud to get this out. Great kid. And you know what? We're hoping that he's coming back here for the Ducks because he's a great piece to their team.
Well set up, dog. We got Jonesy, Max Jones, coming at you right now, fellas. Welcome back to Missin Curfew.
Fella.
Up, dog. This kid's a dying breed.
I
love watching him play.
Friend of the pod. Always got a smile on his face. Excited to see us.
Yeah.
Newport.
Every time they call penalty on him, I'm like, that wasn't a penalty. Fucking let Jonesy. That wasn't a
penalty. I've been there, buddy. I've been there.
I
feel his pain
that's not
there.
A penalty. Fucking Jonesy's just playing hard, trying to get a stick in there. But Max Jones, Jonesy, thank you so much, buddy. We've been wanting to get you on for a long time, and we bumped into you a couple weeks ago. But thanks for taking the time, fella.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. You guys are always fun to be around.
It was fun to bump into you guys at the Whaler there. You guys were enjoying your year-end festivities, and it was just good to see all you boys out and having a good time together because, when you lose, we've all been on losing teams, and the Ducks are in a rebuild. There's some long days there, and you get to enjoy it with the boys when it's all said and done, and you want to be playing playoff hockey, but you're not. But those are the times you remember. I was jealous seeing you boys sitting around there drinking and having a good time.
Yeah, it was nice. Burn off the steam a bit, especially with the schedule too, man. Like, we don't really get that many days where we can kind of get after it. So it feels like at the end of the year, everyone just lets it all out.
Yeah. Does it feel like you had a group of guys that enjoyed that part of it? Like, we've all been there. 82 games, man. It's a grind, right? Oh. It's a grind, whether it's the travel or, dealing with injuries or whatever the case may be, just not finding
getting healthy scratched.
Yeah. Getting healthy scratched, but just not finding like a good green light. And then all of a sudden, the year goes the way it is. And you guys are just like, man, I just want to sit around with you boys and have some beers and be able to just fucking chill. But is it a group of guys here in Anaheim? Like, we got to know a few of them, but do you guys like, spending that quality time with each other? Is it a good squad? Like, do you feel like this group can get you guys to the next phase and into the playoffs next year?
Yeah, it's a great group. I mean, especially, I want to say probably my first couple of years, there wasn't as many like kids and families, but now there's a family kind of vibe to the team. Then you got obviously young guys, Mac T and Z and those guys, but it was a great group, especially this year. I mean, it felt like everyone was just really tight. But again, with the schedule, so hard to get together, especially at home. It has to be an event. It's got to be all right, everyone's going to come over, bring your kids sort of thing. But on the road, you get a day off in between, you'd have to play an early game in the island, and then the next day you have off in order for the boys to go out, because it was just constantly every other day. Yeah. But I mean, great group, nothing but good things to say about the boys.
No, it's tough, and we probably went out more than most, but still we look back, it's you can't go out that much as you want to go out. But for me, it was more, I was single, right? Go out for a nice dinner, check the bullpen, see what I got. But you can't, Jonesy, in all seriousness, it's hard to find time to really, let it loose. That's why when it comes to year-end bender time, everyone takes a deep breath. They're let's just go let's go play some golf and have some fun, because it's a long year, fella.
Oh, it is. I mean, that's the end of the year there is we played golf, and then I think we had another beach party the next day or the day after, and then it was just constant, especially with a young guy. I was living next to Mac T, right on the peninsula there. He was on 36th Street, but on the beach side. So Mac T, right at the end of the year, me and Mac T were just nonstop, just hey, what are you doing? You want to get a beer? It's just every day, at the end of the season, nothing going on. It's so much time is spent just on a schedule. And when you don't have a schedule, it's let's go.
Yeah, it's nice.
Let's fun or do something,
Yeah, I actually bumped into Mac T at Mason McTavish at the Blue Beat. I stumbled in there and he was in there. I was like, hey, kid, what's going on? But listen, Max Jonesy, I got to ask you, fella, We've all lived at 600 and a hook. We've all lived there. Man, that place is a special place to us. First of all, how's Loops as a landlord? I can only imagine, but how was he as a landlord for you over the years? Like, this guy's a beauty, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the man. Well, I never had any problems too, and except for like last year, we dealt with a little like kind of some hiccups. But those like 3 years I was in there, like just awesome. I mean, just got pure grit, you know. Just a gritty place. You gotta love it. Like I love that place. Like it's just so nice being able to go home, park your car, and then just you're like right in the mix, you know.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
No, I mean we were talking about you and talking about 600 and a half last week, and I think we came up with 6 or 7 guys that had Stanley Cups and that lived.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of Stanley Cups there. I mean,
none from us, but
no, not from us. Pens has got a couple.
Cox,
Kunitz has 3. Brookbank's got 1. Freddie doesn't have 1.
I mean, Pears slept on that couch enough. We could say he's
Pears.
We'll throw Worm in there too.
I mean, you could even get Getzlaf. I'm sure Getzlaf at one point had to stay with Manson. By the way, great, and I think you're giving Loops. You're giving him.
You're
getting him off early.
Yeah.
You're getting him off easy because I know that place. I know that place inside and out. And for you to say that there's only a couple hiccups, I mean, buddy, I would ask you, like, did the washer and dryer work the whole time? Did the sinks work? Like, when there was a flood, what was it? Shower, bathtub?
Yeah.
Toilet, like you can let our listeners have it here.
Yeah. We all right. So
yeah,
the 2 years we actually didn't really have that much of a problem, and then this last year we had, within the span of like 2 weeks, we had termite at the 10th place, and then we didn't have gas for like 2.5 weeks. So my girl was like taking like cold showers. She's going to work. She was working over in Newport at Fashion Island. So she was taking cold showers. I was just like, I'll shower at the rink. You know? So it was like 2 weeks over Christmas time, no gas. And then they redid the cupboards in the kitchen. And the guy that came to redo them made them like a whole different color, like a complete different cabinet than the actual, like, everything else. So then, like, sent it to Loops, and Loops is dad. And I'm like, hey, like, I don't think it's supposed to look like this. Like, it's probably gets fixed, right? So then he's got a lap. He's like, oh, my God. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So then another fast forward, like, probably a month later, then the same guy comes back and just re-puts on the old ones. And I was just like, I don't know what's going on. And then, you know, the window in the spare bathroom, in the spare bedroom bathroom, when Mahura was living there, he opened it and it got stuck. So then it was just open and stuck. And then he had one of his girlfriends, I don't even know, at the time was staying over, and he took her curling iron and put it on the toilet, the top of the toilet seat, and it burnt through the toilet seat. So after the year, there was no toilet at the toilet seat. Just nonstop stuff. You know what? Like, I never had a problem for the 2 years, and then this year we just had some hiccups, but it was good. But you know, yeah, again, gritty.
Yeah, gritty. He put you up at his beach house, though, didn't he? Or did he stay at his? Yeah. So I'm like, Loops, you coming? When are you coming back to Newport? He's like, I saw him in Aspen or something. He's like, I can't. I go, why is that? He goes, Jonesy's living at the beach house. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, fucking termites, this and that. I'm like, well, at least you gave his beach house. That's nice of you, the poor guy. Like, that's a nice spot. That's a nice spot, huh?
Oh yeah, National League,
buddy. We used to have some shakers there when he built. I remember when he built that motherfucker. I was like, wow, what a spot. I was playing the Ducks in the playoffs for Nashville, and I went for dinner with them, and Krager was in town, and we went down and checked it out, and it was just about done. And when I first saw it, Jonesy, I just texted up. I went, this is going to be okay for the team. Yeah. This is going to be good for the squad. It's sick. Yeah.
I got invited to a couple of those, but I wasn't in town early enough to get in to, you know, come over and see the boys, but I'm pissed I missed out on it.
It's a little easier high stepping around the sheet, when you're coming from a beach house and you're like, hey, you get home after the match, you open up the doors, you hear the waves, a little glass of vino, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, that drive on the 55 home, it's like, whatever, -2, like you're going to
I've been there, Jonesy, and you kind of teed me up because, listen, I think you're a great Duck.
Yeah,
I know you're an RFA coming up, but I think that'll get handled pretty easily. But just talk about playing here, right? Because sometimes, you know, people think about, you know, they talk about the Kings, but playing for the Ducks and living in Orange County and living in this community, it's a pretty special place and a privilege to play here, right, fella?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I feel like there's a big, like, misconception about that around the league. I mean, obviously, you know, playing in California, like you get, you know, dinged on the tax pretty well, but like, I mean, obviously I haven't been anywhere else, but like it's it's sick, man. Like Orange County, Newport Beach, like the people that you meet, I mean, the people that you're around, like it's in the living, like is so night and day different than anywhere else. Like I'll come home to Michigan, man, and it's just like completely different worlds living like here versus there. I mean, even like anywhere I could imagine, like playing hockey down there it's awesome. Not to mention too, like for the past, like, I mean, ever since I've been there, it's been like obviously, you know, shitty with, you know, trying to, you know, win games, but like the fans are pretty, like they're very loyal. Like they still show up, you know, and it's like, that's nice to have, you know, because I mean, other places like, you know, either Toronto or somewhere, like they'll just stop showing up. Like, you know, you're playing bad, like they go a lot more like, you know, aggressive in that term. So, but it's sick. I loved it.
Yeah, I remember when I got drafted by the Ducks, Jonesy. I was 8th rounder, 250th overall. There's not even 8 rounds anymore. First of all, I didn't know where California was. I asked my dad. I'm like, Dad, where's California? He's like, well, you know that long flight you didn't want? You got a long flight. And I never seen I might have seen a palm tree in Florida or whatever, but I remember landing at John Wayne and like driving and just seeing the place and being like, I got to play in this fucking league. I got to somehow play here and make this team, because you just see it as being a Michigan boy, Ontario boy, Alberta boy. It's like, you're like, this is real life. This is how people live out here. It's amazing.
Dude, it's insane. It's insane. Like, I mean, it's just, especially the peninsula too, man. It's just such like a younger crowd there. And you're like, I'll just like walk everywhere. I'll park the car, and if I need to go get lunch, I'll walk across the street. And you got like Nobu across the street from Lupul's house. It's like, you got a Nobu across the street and you're living by the beach. It's like, how does that go hand in hand?
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen. But again, it's nationally out there. It's sick.
It really is. You know, one thing I'm often reminded when I leave here, just how amazing it is to live in a place that when you pull up to a red light in your car, two things. You see a lot of other really nice cars, and call it shallow. Like, I like a nice car. You see good BMWs, you see a nice fucking Lambo or Ferrari. But more importantly, for a single guy, if you are single here, a lot of young guys are, there are good-looking women. 1 out of every 3 cars, there's like a smoke show driving in. And if you then you fly to St. Louis I fly to St. Louis come September to play for the Blues, and I'm looking around, and you might find one every month in like when you pull up to a street light. It's like it's entirely night and day. I don't know where they all hide here in Newport Beach, because like, you see so many.
Well, these guys in Newport Beach, they get them young and they start dumping kids in them, and they have 40 kids, and they're like, that's what these guys do, man. I've been kidding. I'm like, I see this guy. I'm like, I see what you did, bro. All right, before she went to SC, you got her, you knocked her up, and now you know that's what they do.
Yeah, they're smart.
They get them early.
You're smart, but there is some beautiful people here. They're all enjoying their damn lives. Why wouldn't they?
No.
And they drive nice cars. The weather's perfect, and like Max Jones, you just said, you pay a lot of taxes, but it's a weather tax.
Yeah.
Get off that bird in February, man. You get off that bird in Winnipeg, you're fucking freezing your balls off. You get off here, you go home, you have a glass of wine. The next day you get up. You got to go to the rink in a good mood here, no matter what. Like if you win or lose, because the weather's nice.
The dog days are better here.
The dog days are better here.
Yeah. Jonesy, I just want to tell you a story about 600.5 because you've lived there. Put this in perspective. When the Ducks went to the finals in, what was that, 06? Penner was living there all year. And me and Loops came back after a year-end bender, and Loops moved back in. So Loops was living in the master, Pens was living in the spare, and I was sleeping on an air mattress in the garage. And as this is going on, Dustin Penner's marching his way to the Stanley Cup, dude. We'd come back to that house, chicks fucking Penner sleeping in there. Loops would take him upstairs. I'd have to use the couch because I'm the air mattress. And this whole time, Dustin Penner is marching towards the Stanley Cup. I'm like, that's not happening.
It's got great.
That's
bones.
Not happening. Anymore, right?
That house has great bones.
Yeah.
Right?
You telling me you slept on an air mattress?
I slept in that garage, which it was a little bit neater, tidier back then.
Yeah, he had it set up like a room.
I had it a little bit, not a fucking great room. But yeah, like, it was tough, Jonesy. I was a national league when it was tough to close it when you came back. You're like, hey, you want to slide out to the garage on the air mattress? Like, it wasn't great. But Pens is winning a Stanley Cup, and me and Loops are going on a full end year and bender in there.
At what round were you like, this is enough, Loops? We got to get out of here.
The conference finals. We stayed right till they won it. When they won it, we jumped in Loops' Bentley because we're like, we can't have the cup around here. Jonesy went out to Palm Springs, but we were there for the whole conference final and the whole final. And Pens is in that little fucking 600 hook. It was unreal.
So funny. My buddy's up there playing in the cup finals. You want to go to the garage?
Yeah, exactly. And don't worry about who's in the spare room. He's just playing for the Stanley Cup. Let's go to the garage there, sweetheart. Jonesy, I wanted to ask you, buddy, because I know you're back in Michigan now, but you have spent some time here in the off season, and when I look at Ducks players, a lot of guys, as soon as the season's off, they go home. Like, I guess I wonder why more guys don't stay out here full time. I know it's nice to get home, but are you surprised the guy that plays there, how many guys leave right away? Because I was always shocked by Ducks guys. I'm like, you're leaving now? Why would you leave now?
Yeah, I mean, so this year was like kind of the, first year where everyone was out like right away. I think, obviously this year was really tough, I think, on a lot of us and a lot of guys, more than the previous years. I mean, obviously, like our, whatever our win-losses, our points that we had this year, I think we're pretty similar to last year, but like it definitely felt a little bit worse this year.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that was kind of why guys were just like, I got to get out, go home and reset. But like previous years, like we would have a good, like probably week and a half, 2 weeks where guys would stay, but guys were gone early this time. But like, again, like you're right. Like we don't get to golf as much during the year. So it's like, why not stick around, play some golf, like go trek around, play some courses. I mean, go even just like San Diego, go play Torrey or something. But for some reason, I don't know, like guys just kind of get out early.
No, I get that. When you've had a tough year, it doesn't matter where you are. You're like, get me out of here. Jonesy, I wanted to ask you too. You just had the 30th anniversary of the Ducks organization, and brought all the guys back. And listen, this organization had a run through me and Uppy's career, the Getzlaf era of every year in the playoffs, going to the conference finals. I guess my question is, can you feel the tradition here? Like, is there enough Ducks guys around, and can you feel the tradition that they've had here, and where you guys want to get back to, or is that something that maybe could be improved? Like, do you feel the success they've had here?
Yeah, I mean, well, my first couple of years, you could definitely feel it. Especially with like Murph, when Murph was the GM, because he was, a part of all those years. So you could definitely feel it that he had kind of like a aggressive kind of grasp on the team where he still wanted to keep fighting. Because my first game was the year after they got swept by San Jose in the first round, and then they were on a 12-game losing streak. So that was my first game, was like the 13th one on that. And then so I could feel that they were trying to still kind of like battle for playoffs and try to figure it out. But then at that point, they were kind of like, all right, well, we're going to just, start rebuilding. And then we still had guys like Getzy, Cam, like, Kess was there that year too. So it was like, you could feel that tradition. But then, over the years, it kind of felt like a lot of stuff changed. A lot of guys were leaving, gone. I mean, especially with Getzy gone now. I mean, he was the captain, such a if not the most prominent Duck. I mean, and he's gone now, and living in Nashville, and he's a scout for the team now, but not around as much. So it's kind of like, feels like everything is changing. So I guess it not as much now, but probably at the start of my career there, yeah, like I could definitely feel it, but it's definitely changing a bit.
Let's just stay right there with Getzy for a sec, Jonesy. But I've all been part of teams, new teams, young teams with a lot of history. And you always had like guys around the rink that you looked up to, right? Like, especially being on a young team. I'm just thinking about in St. Louis, we had like Marty Brodeur, Al McInnes. We had these guys that recently had left the game, but they were kept around for, call it like, an assistant to the GM, or just to help out a young goalie, like a young, Jake Allen or Binnington. Do you feel like you guys have a good face of like the ex-player, like if Niedermayer is always around, Paul Kariya maybe, but like I'm purposely saying Getzy, for example, right? Getzy's 1 year, 2 years out of the game now, obviously wants to be involved. Do you guys feel like you could use like a mentor that's recently left the game that can relate to a lot of the younger guys, be there for problems, be there for any questions, or just be there to be on the ice and like say, guys, like, it's fucking, let's have some fun here. You guys are in the NHL. Like, does it help to have a young kid, like someone younger like that around? And what's it like without Getzy? What's it like without the Anaheim Ducks right now without the face of Ryan Getzlaf in the room?
Yeah, it's definitely different. Like, Getzy was such a leader. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then you lose that captaincy. So then it's kind of just like a free-for-all a little bit over the past couple of years since he was gone. And, especially with him not, being around, it definitely doesn't, it hurts, it wouldn't hurt if he was around, you know what I mean? Like, it could only help if he was, but, he just, can't be around, so, but it would definitely help. Like, if he was in the room, a lot of guiding would be better, throughout the season, especially with the ups and downs of the year. Like, he'd be able to kind of control it and help us with it. Especially too, you get somebody between the team and the general manager, team owners. Like you get a guy like that. Like I don't know. Like I feel like that could only help. Like how could that hurt? You get a guy like Getzlaf. Like he's just like a part of everything. He wants the organization to do well. He wants the owners to do well, get more money in their pockets. Wants to help the GM because he wants the team to win. And then obviously he was with the boys for so long. It's like, well, if Getsy says, hey, like you guys got to pick it up a bit in practice, like lean on each other a bit more. It's like, all right, like yeah, like we do, because there was no captain after he left. Like there was no leader, so it was kind of just like a free for all.
Yeah, that's well said, Jonesy. Maybe they're worried about Getsy taking one of those trainers tables in there, though, eh? Because he did love that. He did love that trainers table. Get him his own little trainers table. Getsy can just lay down there and have a heat pack.
What? Yeah, get the hot tub, Getsy. I don't care, but be around.
That big wrench in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Watch where you're swinging that goddamn. Watch where you're swinging that goddamn thing around, Getsy.
Like I get it. There's life without Ryan Getzlaf on the ice, but there shouldn't be life without Ryan Getzlaf in the organization. That's like kind of my purpose. And I know you guys filled this with you bring in a 2-time Stanley Cup champs killer, Alex Killorn, who's a great leader and has been in these battles. But that's not the same as having like someone that's recently exited the business that wants to stay in the game. And then like having that role, man, like Alex Steen, for example, 1 year away. Yeah, he steps back. He's in a role with St. Louis. He's going to be involved more. You have these guys that are given these opportunities, and that's a position that needs to be involved in the NHL. Owners need to know that that's important.
Yeah, I said, Getsy already paid all the California tax over the $100 million.
Leave it now. Fuck off.
You're not making any money now. You're like us.
Shit. Agreed.
Hey, I think we can all agree as an ex-Duck and a guy who lives here and a guy who's still playing that more Ryan Getzlaf is good. But Jonesy, I want to ask you about a kid that I met. Updog lived at his house. I know he's a close friend of yours. You played golf with him this morning. Cam Fowler. How much does he mean to the organization? And Cam has been there in the early years where they're going to conference finals, and now he's been through the rebuild. But guy's just consistent, brings it every night. But what kind of leader is Cam now? Because he's kind of the face of the team, I guess, moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, like I've been with Cam for so long. I mean, obviously, like we train together in the summers too. So me and him become like really good buddies, become like best friends. So, he's just like the man, super pro too. Like he's takes care of his body on and off the ice during the year, and lets loose like at the beginning of the summer. So it's always fun to be around him. But I mean, he's been here since he's 18. He's almost played like 1,000 games already, and it just does. It's like insane to me because he, you get a guy who played at 18 and hasn't really missed many games. They log those games like quick, like the games played go way up like real quick in those couple of years. So he's definitely like a veteran that, me and Terry lived at his house our second year. So we had a good understanding of what it was like to be like a pro off the ice, just what he did day-to-day basis. But I mean, terms of him with the organization, like yeah, he does. He is like a Duck, like a hearted Duck, But I mean, nothing but good things to say about Fowler, that's for sure.
974 games.
974 matches.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
14 years.
When you lived with him, did he still have the NBA Jam machine in his house? Did he still have the NBA Jam arcade game?
No, he didn't. I didn't know he had one.
Oh, yeah. Updog, you're heating up. Yeah, we go back there all playing NBA Jam at Cam's house.
The one at Ocean Ridge?
No, he was at Newport Heights.
It was the one on right beside Newport Heights High School. What's the street? Henley, something like that. But it was a great shack. I'd be just counting down the days. I'm like, will these guys ever lose here? I got to sleep I got to sleep at 600 a hook like Fowler.
No, I was waiting too. Fucking Cogliano. Every year the Ducks were going to the conference final.
Every year.
I'm living at Lupul's beach house and Lupul playing, and I love Lup's like a brother, but I need my own little space, right? I'm like, these Ducks going to the conference finals again. It's like, fuck off. Like, the boys need a place here. Yeah, boy, I'm trying to get my bullpen restocked here. I need a place to maneuver, eh? I need a place to maneuver. Jonesy, I want to ask you, Leo Carlsson, I got to meet him that night at the Whaler when you guys were enjoying your year-end festivities. Didn't know much about him when he came over. Dude's a National Leaguer, right? Big, style, size. I never played with one Swedish guy that wasn't probably the nicest person in the world. What's this kid about, and is he as good as I think he is when you see him day in and day out, practice games, stuff like that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's he's unreal. Especially like you said, like you never met a bad Swede. Like, dude, I swear every Swede I meet is like the nicest guy ever. Like, I love the Swedes. And he came in like kind of quiet at first, but then opened up like after a couple of weeks, and he's hilarious. Like, and he came down to Cabo too, actually, with all of us for bye week, and him and McTavish, they stayed in a room down at the Hard Rock together, and they got after they had a great time. So he's the man. In terms of like hockey too, he's sick. I mean, he can skate. He's got hands. He can dice it up. You know, like he's real nice with the puck. He's still like growing too. Apparently, like beginning of the year, like he got hurt, and they had to go like get X-rays and stuff, and they saw that he had like his like hip joints or whatever were still open. So they're like, his growth plates are still growing. They're like, you're still growing. I was like, what the hell? You're playing in the National League.
Some kids get it all, eh?
Yeah.
It's insane. I mean, he's the best though. I mean, I love that guy. Every day seeing him at the rink is just put the smile on my face.
Pretty humble kid,
Good
right?
style.
Like pretty humble. Like he doesn't look like a kid that knows he's going to make, 100 million plus in this league.
Yeah.
He looks like
He's going to be living at Chileno Bay. He won't need a room with the Hard Rock. He's going to be living at Chileno Bay after he gets 100.
Yeah.
I'll be asking him to go play.
I know, and that was the thing too, right? Like when he got drafted, it's like you see the videos, he's like skinny and tall and like
You never know, eh?
and then fucking booyah, he turns into just a beast.
I like his number, too.
That's the crazy thing, man, about drafting like at 18. It's so hard to like, it's kind of wild, you see a lot of guys that just like end up getting like really big, like and they're tiny. It's such a like, it is like a young age to get drafted,
Yeah. Jonesy, last guy for me on your squad before I want to talk about your game a little bit. Updog's buddy, Gudas. Updog and him, they finally buried the hatch at the Whaler. It was unbelievable. I met Gudas at Getzlaf's golf tournament the night before. I go, if Uppy's playing this, we're putting you guys in the groups on the same tee box so you can hash it out. But they hashed it out. But this guy, man, he's just a warrior, right? Like, even at the end of the season when you guys were done, he's still just hammering guys and with that big check beard. But what's this guy like day to day?
Yeah, he's one of those guys that I didn't know like what he was going to be like when I met him. Me and him used to go at it quite a bit when we were playing against each other. So we used to go at it a lot. And then the first day I met him, he's super nice guy, just a beauty, like typical, Czech like beauty. Like everyone loves this guy. He's hilarious. He's funny. And then on the ice too, he'll do anything for you. Like if you take a whack, like nothing crazy, he'll be all over the guy. So
Yeah.
day to day too, it's so nice to be around the room with him. Like he's the man. Keeps it light. And then in practice too, like he's just real nice, easygoing. Not nothing like crazy like in a game, because he spends all that energy in a game.
Yeah,
he doesn't take it out on the boys.
Yeah, that's good. You're like, Gudas got nothing left for
He
practice.
looks like a guy though that would shoot the puck high from the point in practice. Does he shoot it high? Like is he that type of guy? No, he keeps it low.
Keeps it low. He
Okay.
sips him in there. Yeah, it is a shocker.
That's my shot at Gudas right there. That's my one
You
shot.
thought he'd just be ripping like shoulder high.
Yeah, like does he even know where it's going? Like that's kind of
He definitely doesn't know where it's going, but he's just gonna at least he's shooting it soft.
Yeah.
Right?
Just give us at the shin pads, eh?
Yeah, late night for him. Get him in there. Just move the boots. Get off the ice.
Yeah.
There's no sifters.
Exactly. I don't want to get hit with a puck out here. It's fucking 10 a.m. in the morning. But, Jonesy, I've loved your game since you've been a Duck. I thought you made some good strides this year, fella. I thought there was a more offensive touch to your game. I thought you were going to the front of the net a little bit more. You got rewarded with some power play time. So I just want to tell you, like, is that the type of player you want to be, a net front guy that can chip it offensively, play physical? Because to me, when I watch this year, that's kind of what you're turning into, fella.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the games, when I get to, log minutes and get to play, it's, you just get to play. Like I could play my game that I always played, but obviously for the years, over the years, it's kind of been a struggle of ice time there in Anaheim trying to figure it out. So, but, like guy gets hurt, I get, they come up, play more minutes, play on a line, then successful when I play minutes. So, try to get a little bit more on the penalty kill. And we didn't get into that yet until the end of the season there against Tampa. I was used on the PK, and then I got hurt that game for the rest of the season. But so I was trying to work a little bit more on the PK because I'm just, was been filling in and out of power play and stuff when the guy got hurt. So, but yeah, definitely like just a straightforward game, power forward, just playing hard, like gritty. That's always who I have been, and just got to move forward with more ice time.
Yeah, I'm with you on the
Yeah.
PK aspect. Because
I was going to say, is there one thing that you find, would make you a full-time PKer? Because throughout the course of my career, Jonesy, I started off, I was supposed to be offensive. I had a couple of years of getting hurt. You did as well. Coming back, kind of roles change. New kids come in. There's more opportunity to stay on the team and to be effective, but you kind of got to fix or, change your role. And then I was like, I hadn't played PK, right? So now then I just had to kind of
block the shot before.
Yeah,
I was like, fuck, I got to block this fucking thing?
No, but I was like the art of it, you do have to find a way to like stick in the game and be really good at it, because I tell you what, first unit PK guys will play till they're 40. Like, and it's this, if you can go out there, win a face-off, get good sticks, and be like a guy that your D want to have on the ice, right? Or your D coach. So I guess, is there one thing, now that you can prove you could play PK, like, I would say focus on these little things and show next year in practice that you are that guy. That's kind of my thing. Like, it just only adds to your tool belt.
Resume, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I hear it's like, especially too, it's opportunity, right? Like, I haven't really ever had an opportunity to play PK, I mean, as long as like, I'm not too worried about like whatever I can't control, I just got to go out there, play. I mean, there's 30 something other teams out there too, everyone's always looking for somebody to play,
No, for sure. And the thing about it, Jonesy, is, when you came into the league, you were trying to be that physical guy, and then, you get a penalty and, you wouldn't play. Like, it's hard to get going that way. And like this year, I thought in the last couple of years that once you realized that you were going to get more of an opportunity, it allowed you to play your game even more, in my opinion, from watching you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's easier, man. Like, you get more minutes. It's like, you're just playing hockey at that point. You're not, you guys know, you play the game. Like, you go out and you play, say there's no penalties and you're rolling lines or whatever, and you're playing, like, your heart rate's up, you're sweating, like you're buzzing, and then you go and sit on the bench for X amount of minutes, and then your heart rate drops and you're at a resting rate. Like, that's a huge disconnect from, the game. Like, because then you got to go out there and it's like your first shift of the game again. It's hard to like, keep the heart rate up while you're in a game that's like, you're just not playing. It's like, well, you want me to be effective, you want me to play like myself. It's like, you got to get that heart rate up, whether it's, put the flip-flops on him to take periods, get on the bike or something, Like, I don't know.
Oh, it's hard, man. It's hard.
I used to say so hard. In Calgary, I was playing like 6 minutes a night. I'm like, you give Nick Lindstrom 6 minutes a night, not even Nick's going to do anything with that 6 minutes. He'll do more than I did, but he's not going to do fuck all.
And if it turns into a power play fuck fest, like, you just like, you're stuck.
Nothing worse than a TV timeout when your shifts come.
Yeah, and as that fourth rotation of forwards, it always happens where it's like clockwork. You finally get out on the ice, and the third D pair flips one fucking down the ice for icing, or flips it into the bench. And
I
just
swear that happened to me
every
much this year.
I know, and then you're changed, TV timeout. You just sit there. You're like, fuck. Why do I even have skates on?
So I get the TV timeout. I get on the ice and just like 10 hard strides straight to the corner.
Oh,
just like as hard as I could, right to the corner, right by the ice girls.
Yeah,
I know. I know. And then you're that.
You got to take advantage.
And then you're that guy. They're like, oh, here's Jonesy again, ripping around the ice. I gotta get out there. It's like, fuck. It's the only way I can get in.
You got to get out there on the TV timeouts.
Me and Stromer used to start doing that. Stromer did it first, and he took off. So I started laughing. So that I just got up and I just took off too. And then he saw me right up the bench, so he started laughing, and it turned into a thing the rest of the year. We would just. Every TV timeout, we just go.
You should be able to get a couple biscuits.
High step.
You should be able to stick handle a few pucks out there.
You were sticking.
Just
to get the feel for it.
You were stick handling things during the TV timeout, but it wasn't a puck. You were stick handling, fella. You were stick handling a few other things. Jonesy, last one for me, fella. A guy that we've got to know really well here, Killorn.
Yeah.
I loved what he brought to your team. I mean, the way he played down the stretch to continue to battle with a guy who's got 2 cups and been to 3 finals. But what's it like for you just to have a guy that's 1-2 that does it the right way? I think he's going to help you guys so much moving on as a whole organization.
Yeah. No, he's great. He was, another guy that was like kind of shockingly kind of quiet at the start when he came in. But I mean, I get it. You play somewhere your whole career. You kind of obviously haven't really had that situation on a different team before. And then he grabbed it like pretty quick because he broke his finger in preseason.
Yeah.
So he wasn't really around that much at the start, but. He really was like a big leader for us, and especially his game too. The way he plays the game, he just plays it so like direct, plays it the right way. Obviously listening to him talk about playoffs and talk about Cooch and how, Kucherov like handles the game like day in and day out. Like Killer would do the same stuff in practice that like Kucherov would do. Like just go on to like the corner, take like just 30 pucks on the wall. And he's like, yeah, Kucherov does it. So, I mean, something's got to work, I guess you're right. Like, fuck.
Yeah, I know. That's true. That's why you bring guys in like that for little stuff like that. You're like, this is what Cooch is doing. Seems to be doing it.
No, they had 5 guys on that team that all play the game the right way. So, pick your poison. He could be like, this is how Point takes faceoffs. And then look at the way he goes to the net. And that, this is Hedman. We need our guys to be like Hedman, but they can't.
You're like, we need Hedman.
We met with those guys too. Like for the past couple of years, when we like went to Tampa, we had like a couple nights out with the Lightning.
Yeah,
man, like those guys are beauties.
Yeah,
like
Shat Deuce is setting that up. Shatty.
No, I mean, it starts with their head coach, man, John Cooper, and they went through some tough losses, getting swept by Columbus, and got through on the other side. But it starts with John Cooper, man. That guy. I mean, if you can't play for Coop, you can't play for anyone. That guy's the best.
Yeah, that's all I've heard. I mean, Killer saying the same thing. Like that he's like the man. Like I said too, he came and met us at Chileno there. I mean, he came and got to talk to him a bit. He's actually from Detroit here. He coached Honey Baked growing up. That's where I played growing up. So we talked a bit about that. But he was really nice, just like really easy to talk to. It didn't seem like you were talking to a guy who really didn't care, or, kind of had like an ego or anything. Like he just seemed like really straightforward and just like loves the game, just like everyone else. Like just love talking about it. It was nice.
No, I agree, Jonesy. And listen, buddy, I love your game. We love you here at Missin Curfew. Thank you for taking the time, my man. Enjoy the off season. Keep the head down. And like I said, thanks for taking the time, buddy.
Yeah, anytime. Hey, what they always say,
ice on the bird, fella. Ice on the bird, boy.
Who we playing?
Ice on the bird. But Jonesy, thank you, brother.